Good morning, students. Meeting you after a long period of time. Hope you all are doing good and you have written your quarterly examinations. Well, what are we going to do today? Today, we are going to learn Unit 3 poem Lines Written in Early Spring. What is actually lines? Lines or poems. Okay, what is spring? Spring is one of the four seasons. What are all the seasons? Autumn, winter, spring, and summer. When do spring season come? Spring season falls succeeding winter, meaning after winter and preceding summer. It means before summer. So in between winter, the snow season, and summer, the hot season, in between these two seasons, we have spring season. Okay, when we get into the word spring, what comes into our mind? When we think about spring, we get many pleasant feelings. It is also said that spring is a season of new beginning. What are all the things which begins new? We can find many animals, young ones, the trees, it start to blossom, the leaves it start to grow, and all these things happen only at spring season. Apart from these things, there are many things that happens in spring season. The temperature is always moderate. At the same time, we have more daylight. It means the days will be lengthier. Some birds would have migrated from one place to another to mate. Those birds return. At the same time, when the trees start to grow, the leaves, the flowers, the birds, when everything grow, we get a pleasant feeling. Seeing all these things, seeing a garden or going into a park, seeing the plants. Why do you bother? When you have planted a plant in your house, example, just take a rose plant. You have planted a rose plant in your house, and the rose, after you have watered the rose, the leaves started to grow, and there will be a bud after a few days. How do we feel? When the rose starts to grow, we feel happy. First thing is, that is the plant which started to grow that we have planted. So these things happen. The spring season is the season of creativity, and as usual, the leaves come back, the flowers bloom, and when there is fresh leaves, the air is also very fresh. So we get fresh airs. These are all the things which happens in the season of spring. Okay, this is just an intro to spring. So getting into the poem, Lines Written in Early Spring. Who is the poet? William Wordsworth is a poet. William Wordsworth is named as, or called as, or known as nature poet. Why is William Wordsworth called as a nature poet? Because William Wordsworth observes the nature around him, and in all his poems he discusses the boons and bans that happen to nature, or the goods and the bad thing that happened to nature, or the good and bad thing that happened because of nature. He always, all his poems will be based on nature. And in this poem, the main thing he is discussing is what man had made for man. What does this line imply? This line tells us that God has given us many things to enjoy, but the man, he has destroyed all the God given gifts because of the envy, the hatred, the jealous he happens towards other people. That is the main thing. So thinking of this, and he also says that, William Wordsworth also says that nature is a beautiful holy plan of God. This holy plan of God is destroyed only because of the industrialization of human. It is a time when many industries were booming up. When we want to construct an industry, what is the main thing we have to? We need is a vast area, a vast space. To get a space, what did the people do? To get or to construct an industry, the people, they just destroyed the nature, they destroyed the trees, they destroyed the plant, they deforested everything, and they constructed an industry. So when there are many industries keeping on booming, what happens there? There might be many trees has to be destroyed. So this is a sad thing, or this is a worry, or this is an lament, a cry William Wordsworth insists in this poem. So now let us get into the point. This is just an outline about this. Then getting into the poem, first let us know the theme of the poem. The theme of the poem is describing nature and the spirituality. What is the meaning of spirituality? Some feel we get, and what should be done? The spirit we get. And peace. The poet says that we need peace in everything. Only when we people show hatred and envy and jealous, when you show all these things, we feel to destroy something. When you feel peace, when you feel non-violence, there will be nothing. And when we take this poem, it is also said that William Shakespeare got an idea to write this poem only after seeing all the destructions which happened in the wars of Napoleon. You know Napoleon, a great warrior. He is a great warrior who fought a lot to get him a successful warrior. When he wants to get a successful warrior, he has to destroy something. So there are many distractions in both the countries, wherever or with whomever he fought. So this distraction also got into the mind of William Wordsworth, and he just showed he just lamented to the people through this poem. And when we get into the poem, we already discussed about the poet. He is a nature poet, as well as he is the speaker in this poem. The poet, he observes nature and he discusses impactful the images of natures or in his mind. What is the thing? Whatever else the thing he is trying to convey or trying to discuss with the people, he used those things as images in his mind. And this poem is a 4-line poem. So it is called as a quatrain. Quatrain meaning, quatra meaning 1 by 4. So 4-line poems it is, so it is a quatrain. And iambic tetrameter meaning every poem has a length, a meter, and tetra meaning 4, so it is a 4-line poems. So this is a 4-line poem, so this is called like that. At the same time, the poet, he feels sad. He is sitting in a grove. There are many trees, many plants, many shrubs, and everything has started to blossom because it is spring season, and it is the beginning of the spring season. When there is a lot of things to enjoy, he gets a sad feeling. What is the sad feeling he gets? That is the thing he realized in this poem. Yeah. Take a book, page number 85, and I'll read the poem and I'll explain you. Just go through the book and listen to what is being taught. Lines written in early spring, written by William Wordsworth. There is also a warm-up session. You can do that. What is the main thing asked in warm-up session? Have you gone for a leisurely walks? Yeah, we would have gone for leisurely walks, but nowadays all our leisurely walks are only using mobile phones, talking to someone else, discussing something else, or using an iPod. What this is the thing we have as leisurely walk. But what is the thing? What is the main thing we have to do to walk leisurely? Means we have to walk and enjoy nature. And then, if we are a city people, city dwellers meaning if you are living in a city, what or who would you expect to see on your ways? Mainly in cities, we see only buildings, constructions, people, automobiles, and all those things. If we are living in a city, when we are in a village, we long for city life. When we are living a city life, we long for village. This is the thing always be happen. And he asks the readers to have a differentiation. What? If you are a city dweller, what do you expect to see? If you are a village dweller, what do you expect to see? And what is the thing we see in a village? We see many lands, we see many groves, we see many farms, and we see many animals, especially the goat, the cow, the cock, the hen, and all those things. And we see many wells, we see rivers, all those things we see in villages. But all these things cannot be seen. We can see well in a city, but the land, the grove, the farm, these things cannot be seen mainly in cities. So this is the main thing we can see in a city and the things we can see in a village. And now I am getting into the poem. I heard 1,000 blended notes while in a grove I sat reclined. All these poems should be read only, the first only with the two lines, then only you can get the meaning of the poem. I heard 1,000 blended notes. What is the meaning of notes? Notes meaning many sounds. Some sounds from the bird it may be, or from the insects it may be. Whatever else. When you get into a garden, we can see the sparrows, we can hear the crows, we can hear many birds and insects, squirrels. And if you have a pet animal of a cat or a dog, all these things make some sounds. And these sounds are told as notes. So, when I heard 1,000 meaning lots of sounds, blended meaning it is mixed together. When did I hear this sound? I heard these notes while in a grove I sat reclined. Recline meaning sitting in a leisurely way. Sitting in a leisurely way. Just consider that you are in a school. Just consider that you are in a school. And you are supposed to listen a maths class. When you are listening a maths class, you have to come forward, you have to sit erect, you have to write all the sums in your note, and you will be. As soon as the teacher goes out, what do? We just lean on the back bench and we stretch our hands and legs and we sit in a leisurely way. That is called as reclined. The poet, he went to a grove. Grove is a place where we can find many trees, especially in Tamil it is so told as a topu. But here we cannot say it as a topu. Here it is, there are many plants, many trees, many shrubs, all the many green, almost a mini, it is not a forest, but if it is the more mango trees, more coconut trees, and more palm trees, all if there are trees in if a place is surrounded with trees, then it is called as a grove. He went to a grove. He is sitting in a leisurely way. When he is sitting in a leisurely way and enjoying the nature, he heard 1,000 blended notes. When he is sitting among nature, in that sweet mood, when I am enjoying nature in a sweet mood, when pleasant thoughts come, pleasant meaning happy thoughts, a pleasurely thoughts come, when I get into the pleasant thought, bring sad thoughts to the mind. It means that the poet is telling that when I am thinking about the good things that is happening, I also get into the mind that the sad things which had happened. That the sad things which had happened. When did he do all these things? He did all those things when he is sitting in a grove. There is a word called as sate, S-A-T. Sate is an archaic word. What is an archaic word? An olden English word is called as archaic word. Sate is actually the past tense of sit, which gives you the meaning sat. Sate meaning sat, it is an archaic word. Okay. Then getting into the second stanza. To her fair works. Whose fair works? What is the meaning of fair? Fair meaning beautiful. Hair meaning describing nature. Mostly we people describe nature or nature and it's all natural things. Example, river and our earth and our land. All these things will be described as a woman. So, to her fair works. To the fair works, to the beautiful works of nature, did nature link the human soul that through me ran. When I am sitting in this grove, the nature, she had connected the human soul and the thought, he had connected the nature and the thought which is running in my mind. What did the nature connect? The nature connected the beautiful thing which is happening in nature, at the same time the sorrowful thing which is getting into my mind, which is running into my mind. When he is thinking about some sad things, when he is thinking about some sad things, the nature is connecting the sad thing which is getting into the mind and he is observing the nature. And much it grieved meaning worried, my heart to think what man had made of man. The poet is very much worried. Grieved meaning worried, mostly it is cried. And much it worried, my soul, my human soul is very much worried, my heart to think. When did I worry? I worried when I think of what man had made of man. Actually, the poet already said that nature is beautiful, holy plan of God. But what did the man made of man? Instead of developing the nature, man, he made many industry. He made jealous. He made many distractions. And this distraction is the only thing that the man made for man. That is the thing he is worried. He says that I worry a lot that man has destroyed everything and he has given only the destruction to the next generation. It means industry. The main thing he focuses is industry. industry is constructed, and industry is given to a human being, but at the same time a vast area or a vast number of plants, herbs and trees are destroyed. This is the only thing man has made of man. When thinking about this, he get worried. Seeing the nature, he is happy that it is a holy plan of God. It has many trees, many flowers, many leaves, many shrubs and all those things. When seeing about things, he get into mind, this beautiful nature is destroyed by man to support man. Through primrose tufts. What is actually a primrose? A primrose is a yellow color flower, and the plant is actually a shrub. A shrub meaning a small growing plant which grows in a mass number is called as a shrub. When I continue the next class, I will show you the photo of primrose. The primrose tufts meaning a bush. Through primrose tufts, in that sweet bower meaning shade, the periwinkle is the image of a tree which is given in your book. In your book you can find out a lavender color flower. You can find a tree which has a lavender color flower. This tree is called as a periwinkle tree. Trailed meaning moving its wreath. How is the poet describing nature? The poet is describing nature by, in the shade of the periwinkle is actually grown like a wreath, and under the shade of that periwinkle, the primrose has blossomed. And it is my faith that, whose faith? It is the poet's faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. He firmly believes that as it is a spring season, there are many flowers that has been grown, and this every flower, he did not say all the flower, he emphasized that every flower, he gives importance that each and every flower enjoys the air it breathes. It means that the flowers, they are doing everything they did in a happy way. Whatever else may be the work being done by the nature, it enjoys whatever else the work it does. There is air moving around. The flowers and the trees, they are absorbing the air and they are enjoying doing it. Here we end up the poem. I just make you a summary. The poet is sitting in a grove. When he is sitting in a grove, he heard many sounds. When he heard many sounds from nature, the movement of the trees, the animals, the birds, the insects, and all these 1,000 blended notes gives him a happy mood. When he is thinking about this happy mood, he gets a bad thought in his mind. And he also says that this nature is connecting my inner thought, which is very sad, to nature. I have a grief feeling into my mind of what man has made for man. Man has destroyed many things because of jealous or envy, and because of hatred and all these evil thoughts. It gives a sad feeling to the poet. And then he is telling that through primrose tufts, under the bowers meaning shade, under the shade of the periwinkle tree, the primrose grows. And this periwinkle is like a wreath for the primrose. It seems to be like a wreath for the primrose. And it is my faith. Whose faith? And the poet says that the flowers of the primrose or the flowers of the periwinkle, whatever else it may be, each and every flower, when it gets the air, it is enjoying breathing the air. This is a summary. And when you take the second lesson, when you take the second line, first stanza, second line, there is a word called as set. Set meaning it should not be pronounced as set, it should be pronounced only as sat. Sat meaning just the past tense of sitting. Okay. And then it is an archaic word. If the first two line is given and if you are asked to find out the figure of speech, you underline the word sat and write archaic word, ARCHAIC. Archaic word meaning olden English word. And if we get into the second stanza, first line, here fair work did nature link. Nature is actually a non-living thing, but she is personified as a human being, and the word and the pronoun her is used. So she is personified as a human being. So the figure of speech is personification. And when you get into the third stanza, second line, the periwinkle trailed its wreath. The periwinkle is acting like a wreath, but the word like is missing. So the figure of speech is metaphor. And getting to the fourth line of third stanza, every flower enjoys the air. Enjoying the air, it breathes. Only human being does all these things. So these two qualities, the quality of enjoying and the quality of breathe, is an act of human being. So here, instead of using the word like, they have compared these two things. So the figure of speech is metaphor. Today, let us continue this session, and let's continue the remaining stanzas in the next class. Thank you.